Hi, all chess goodies, and welcome to my journey to top 100 chess players in the world. I'm actually on a losing streak of 6 games in a row, if I'm not mistaken. And if you maybe saw yesterday's stream, I lost the last game. I don't know where exactly it ended, but I lost the last game in a winning position due to internet connection that just passed away for a while. So yeah, that's the reason why. And honestly, right now, I'm starting to get to the point where I don't even care as much about losing a lot of rating. Okay, we get a pairing, that's great. And I can start with pawn to d4. Now, why not? You see d6, so okay, I think I will transpose into the paired defense. Should transpose there. Okay, knight f6. Play Italian, okay, I would. But at this point, I cannot really because my opponent went for the Philidor defense, let's say, or like it started to be a pairs defense. And okay, so this is lion defense that I'm playing as well sometimes. Not in a rapid, but against bots, for example. But okay, here the main move should be bishop to c4. Yeah, bishop e7. I'll play h3, and now it quite depends how black wants to play this. Okay, with the castle, so with the short castle, so in that case I think I will castle short as well. Yeah, definitely, because then there would be this huge attack on the queen side. But I think I can play a4 first. That should be a good move. Claiming space on the queen side and also sort of preventing b5. And I'll castle short. Yeah, queen belongs to c7, definitely. And then, like, I mean, I don't know, I think I'll just build up position like queen e2. Maybe even double up on the d file. At some point, maybe take. But yeah, I played this in like 1 minute blood games. Or this exact setup that my opponent is using against me now. And true is that it's not so easy to break through against it. Because the file that you can open up is the d file. But the bishop is doing nice job. And yeah, the bishop is doing nice job as well. And this pawn covers sort of the entire d file. Yeah, I saw it. I saw it. They got actually quite a lot of records recently. With first it was like I think Hikaru 3,336, and then Magnus got like 380, and now 400. That's like really impressive. And like, I mean, who knows where can they push? Yeah, definitely. The thing that is really hard for me and is really impressive for me that he streams a lot and that he always plays those like Blitz and Blood games, and he talks about the games, and he is up on the clock like used little to no time, and he can talk about it with ease. That's actually one thing that I quite struggle with, even in this series. Yeah, it is most about pattern recognition. So yeah, that's quite it. In the blood game, you need to just pay attention to your instincts. But okay, to return to the position because my opponent made a move. There's he takes d4, which is not as usual, and it gives up space. I think natural recapture will be with the knight. The knight to e5, okay, I understand, it attacks the bishop. But I can just go back to b3. And then like pawn to f4. This was not a good decision. My opponent thought about it for almost 2 minutes of this capture. And usually when I play that opening that he uses, then you do not want to give up your e-pawn. Bye later. See you tomorrow maybe. Okay, but rook e8. And here, this pawn is weak. But I think I can just continue with my plan of executing f4. That just looks good. Okay, knight g6, that was expectable. Also bishop f8, but I mean, I don't know. This position should be better, but it depends. I cannot execute e5 now. f5, the knight just retreats to e5. It's not as easy as it might seem. I feel like I'll just move this knight back to f3 to support e5 push. Even though after bishop f8 that I expect to be played, then I still cannot push e5. You know, if I would be able to, I'm not so sure that that is the way to go, because I would most likely end up with an isolated e-pawn there. This would be even weaker. But okay, I mean, I got this weakness on e4 that my opponent can pile up on, but there's also the pawn on d6 that is not the strongest pawn. So maybe if I can create counterplay against that d6 pawn, that might be a good thing to do. h6, okay, wonder what the idea behind that is. Probably stopping like knight g5. But I don't think that that was really the biggest threat that I had in the position. So I want to move the queen somewhere. I think d3 looks like the best square. It defends this pawn, potentially defends the bishop on the vulnerable e file. And I want to bring the rocks to the d file. Also nicely connect them. The h6 I think it was not really good move. Maybe he thought like knight g5 and now I'm threatening the f7 pawn. But I think that bishop f8 is the move you wanna make. Yeah, here it comes. Now that, oh okay, it would not be defended. Against two pieces with the queen, you cannot defend. But now this knight is weak. It is basically hanging. So if I can attack it somehow, would be great. Maybe, whoa. Maybe that makes e5 possible. It attacks this knight, and also this knight is hanging, so if d takes e5, I can take the knight there. I think I might be winning a piece here. Maybe some like knight d5 could defend against it. But now I'm just attacking this knight and this knight as well. Because of that ping and also because of that h6 weakening the king side. So I really don't think that that was a good thing that my opponent did. And knight h4. Not h4, h5, but okay. I'm just gonna take this knight and attack this knight once more. And the knight has no squares. So actually, I think I might win another piece. Because, and yeah, there it is. Just the resignation. Yeah, so nice one in 16 moves. And the reason why my opponent lost this game was this first decision. Engine likes it, but from human perspective, when I played that defense that my opponent played, I more like to keep the pawn on e5. Thanks, man. And yeah, so basically that was like the first thing that was wrong, and then obviously that h6 was not the best thing. But okay, I'll play another game. Let's go to play another one. So okay, this was a nice win. Finally, after 6 games of just losing, a win here. So which opening should I go for against e4? Many possibilities. I'll stick with e5. That's probably my main move, I would say. Okay, against Italian, then just play knight. Oh, wow. I play knight f6 and this very fun line, knight g5. I actually enjoy playing against it as black with this knight a5. Definitely not recapturing and allowing the classical straight liver. Here the main line is c6. Also, instead of in this position, b5 is also a fun line, for example. There are a lot of stuff you can do. Yeah, queen e2 is the correct move, and now bishop to e7. Giving up another pawn, but it's probably not the way you want to play this. Take on e5. Yeah, and the knight just goes back. Attacks the pawn again, this way. Also, I mean, you would have to take the bishop first in order to take on e5. Yeah, I mean, it is playable. Even sometimes, like, occasionally you can see it on the highest level as well. But, yeah, if black plays that correctly, then, like, white doesn't have anything there. So that's why you see more like good. I think it's called Gruccio Pianissimo, let's say, main line of the Italian game. Okay, that was expected. Now this pawn might fall. Yeah, there it is, but like rook e8. Though is c6 good here? Yeah, I just have a lot of activity for that. Sacrifice 2 pawns actually at this point. No, actually I think I'll attack the queen this way. And if not queen f3, which I honestly quite expect, then c6 to chase away the bishop. And also maybe I can just regain this pawn on d5 to get 1 pawn back. Still 1 move to castle. These pieces are undeveloped, so yeah, that definitely is a compensation. And okay, queen a4, attacking the knight. c6 defends the knight, but my opponent is there enough times. So I would just have to give up 2 pawns in that line. Like, fully give them up. I wonder if just queen takes d5 is possible, because if queen takes, on a5. I'm thinking of like c6, for example. And there's the pin on the queen. I think it is possible, but I don't want to lose a piece in such a bad way. But I think I can take on d5 with the queen if I see correctly. I hope I do, but I'll just try. I think it is possible to take on d5. And yeah, there is CJ just... My opponent just castles. So that way just seems like it is possible. And now let's just play a6. Okay, knight comes out to c3. But that's not possible. No, it doesn't blunder a piece because of this. Okay, so it is possible to go for that. To play knight c3. Huh. Maybe queen f5 now? Yeah, queen f5 to potentially threaten that pawn as well. But I have to make a mistake somewhere because this doesn't feel to be the best position, the best outcome out of the opening. Usually when I play this line, I just get a really good position. I don't have to recapture the bishop just yet. I don't have to. At least I don't think I have to. But there's still that pin. And how about just pawn to c6? To defend the b5 pawn. Because then queen capture on b5 would happen, and yeah, I think if I am down one pawn in this position, that's fine, but maybe I've blundered, have I? This hanging bishop is not really nice to place there. No, I think I pushed too much. Because bishop d8, queen takes b7, attacks the rook. No, okay, so apparently it was too much, and okay, after that nice win, I'm winning. I'm not winning, losing this game. Yeah, it was really shaky there with those pieces. Left the pieces there to hang longer than it would be good. Knight d5 impossible. This move knight to c3 was really nice. Like, that was the whole problem of the game. And now I'm just thinking of resignation. No, I'm sorry. I just gotta do it because there is nothing I can do. Yep. There it is. And I'll play a rematch with this guy. So maybe let's see what my opponent plays. But okay, we get this position. So I can maybe play the Italian game. Why not do? And okay, knight to f6, but I'm not going for knight to g5. I'll play pawn to d4 instead. The most likely yet transition into Scotch Gambit. That's actually the best black can do here. But there are other moves possible, like let's say knight takes e4, but in that case, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's bishop to d5. That's the best move. And yeah, he takes d4 is just the best here. That's it, and yeah, there it is. Now, castles or e5. I know both of the lines, but let's just stick with pawn to e5 for now. And knight e4. Now, in this position, it still should be bishop to d5. Actually, attacking this knight and putting pressure on that knight. And the main line, instead of this knight jump, is pawn to d5. That's how the main line. And then there are the sidelines of knight g4 and knight to e4. And okay, here I think I can just castle. I don't see anything wrong with that. This knight will come back to e6, so there should be no big threats against the f7 pawn or on the e file. So that's like one thing that's okay in this line. To get the knight back on e6. But yeah, here I got basically two options. I can recapture the pawn, or I can play in a gambit style and go for pawn to c3 with the rapid development. But for now, I'm not gonna give up any pawns and just stick with this. Okay, c6. Am I going back to c4 here? Yeah, probably. Let's go back to c4. This diagonal is the best that is there. And okay, d5. I know that en passant is not forced, but in this position it should be the thing you wanna play. And okay, queen takes d6, so we can get a really equal endgame here. And I'm not so sure. I might go for it. At the same time, bishop to e3 looks interesting. Yeah, I think I'll go for bishop to e3. So if my opponent wants to trade the queens, it will be only on my terms. But true is that, like, for example, rook to d8 is a very much possible move here. But okay, bishop f4 instead, it just straight up attacks the pawn on c2. But wait a second. No, it doesn't work. I was thinking that I can maybe win a piece here. But guess what? It just doesn't work. I was thinking of not that, but I would take the knight and then rook e5, forking the bishops. But there's a problem of bishop to d4 hitting this diagonal. But pawn to c3 should take care of that problem. At the same time, my back rank is weak. I want to develop the knight there instead. But okay, pawn to c3, I'm just going for it. Knight to d2. Okay, queen takes there. I'll recapture with the bishop. Don't want to damage my pawn structure. Knight goes back. So now, if I don't want to give up the bishop pair, I should go back with this bishop. So now I'm controlling the knight, but the knight is also controlling the bishop. So yeah, it's quite both ways. Knight d2, getting the last piece into the game, even though there's this rook as well. Knight maneuvers to c7, probably to d5. To put pressure on that bishop again. But I'll get my knight to f3 now. And maybe to e5. g5, even though I'm gonna have to be careful about that. Or to d4 as well. Putting pressure on that bishop. This is a position, really open position. You get an open center. But you definitely don't want to give up your bishop pair that way. So it is sort of a battle in that sense. Like, who can win the bishop pair? Bishop to b3, maintaining the most active diagonal. Okay, bishop goes to f6, I think. I'll just centralize both of my rooks. And okay, a5 comes in. I was really expecting that move. So now I got two options. Pawn to a4 is more active approach. Pawn to a3 is probably more solid. I most of the time like pawn to a4. So let's play it. Even though I can see some issues of like rook coming to b8. And then like if I take, I don't know, rook takes, hits the bishop, hits the pawn. So that's the reason why I was hesitating. And also why I said that a3 is the more solid approach. But yeah, like maybe rook a b8 now. Okay, so not just bishop counters this very strong bishop. At this point, I sort of have to trade. Yeah, I will. Knight takes, that was expected. Now there's this hanging pawn on a4, but I don't know if I really care about that pawn as much. But I might just take on b5, because why not? But now my opponent will get an outside passed pawn. Or is able to create one, although not so clear. But there's a potential, which is an advantage. Okay, but right now I'll definitely move this rook up somewhere. I was thinking to d5 or d7. Depends what do I want to achieve. But I'll go to d5. Just put pressure on that pawn. Okay, pawn to b4. So I might take. And then this pawn is under attack. So b3. Hold on. Rook b5, if we get this straight, I cannot even recapture because of bishop to c3. Yeah, okay, I will play b3, but there is rook a3. Okay, bishop c3 first instead, okay. I think rook b1. It's sad reality, but rook a3 is coming, and I definitely don't want to lose that pawn. Do I want to trade the rooks here? Yeah, I'm going to. And now let's bring the king closer to center. But okay, in this position, I'm playing for a draw, or I should be. Symmetrical pawn structure. I have less active pieces, at least I think so. This spin might be possible now. Just attacking the knight. Spinning it to the rook, so I'm winning some time here. Yeah, there it is, rook d7. And I might even take. Might even capture there. It's hard, but I think I will do it. In this position, I feel like the knight should be able to overpower the bishop here. No, it's definitely unclear. Okay, I'll try to get the knight to e4. But basically, how does black want to break through here? If you think about it. Because there's no way to attack this pawn. Because as long as I keep my rook on b1, there's no way my opponent's gonna win that. And then on the king side, like, what to do there? There's a king and the knight defending. That should be enough. Obviously, my opponent will try to bring the king into the game as well. But like, that should give me time to do something like knight e4. And yes, at this point I said it, and I'm gonna say it again, that I'm playing for a draw. Also with the clock situation, as always. But yeah, I just don't think that I should get too ambitious here. 94. Okay. King e2, king d3. Yeah, that's what I will play if rook e7 happens. Because if f3, then f5 would win the knight. And that would not be good. I've already blundered one piece today, the last game. So, okay, let's see. Rook e7 comes, so then king d3, an automatic move, as it should be. Okay, bishop goes there, attacks that thing. But I feel like it gives me some freedom to activate my rook to c4, for example. That would be great. This pawn, I don't think it's actually hanging. There's like g3 and then rook would trap it. And okay, rook d6. So king back to e2. f5 is an idea, maybe. But okay, about bishop f4. I don't think I'm too scared of that. Okay, f5 now. But now knight g3. And okay, there's the trades. I'll take that. And now I'm actually the one who might start getting a bit ambitious in this endgame. You know, it should still be a draw, and I'd rather offer it. Otherwise, I will lose some time. I'll get rid of my doubled pawns. This way. And pawn to g4. Why not to push the pawns forward? Okay, let's bring the king to g3 as well. And yeah, there is just this dynamic that I have an active rook, while my opponent is the one with the passive rook. Can just waste the move with the rook. Okay. King e3. The journey with the king behind my pawns is really interesting. Seems really interesting, but I'm getting to the point where I really rather offer a draw. Okay, so this could get quite sharp here. But okay, I can just take there and then take on b4, so I actually won a pawn. But it's not so easy to push it forward. Oh, 22 seconds. I'll offer a draw. But I think my opponent will try to flag me instead. How about to trade rooks? Okay, I can push this pawn. Can go there, and now I'll just start pushing. This one's actually winning, but I'm not. I don't know if I'm in time. Okay, that's not the way. You gotta go here, and then build a bridge. Okay, 4 seconds. Oh, come on. No, don't tell me. Don't tell me that I was not in time to just take that pawn to claim my draw. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, I'll play one more. This is actually 4th game today. But like yeah, I was saying it, I would probably rather start playing 10 plus 5 because time is really getting hard on me. But I'm not sure whether I would find the pairing. If I drop low enough, then sure. I might try it. I might try it at some point. But yeah, we'll see. But that game, like, I mean, come on. Come on. I got one nice win, and then to like cheer me up, to keep me playing, to have hopes, and then this. That's great. Queen b6 should be played here, and then trade queens like this. K97, there's b4, b5 possible. I cannot really stop that because of this rook. Okay, I'll just develop this bishop now. And okay, yeah, b5 as I was saying it. So I can expect this trade. Do I want to capture there on my own? I don't think so. I'll just go for quick development while my opponent goes for this plan that is basically unstoppable. Okay, b4 with the other pawn as well. So maybe 94 doesn't look that bad. I'll take there with the bishop. Okay, bishop b2. So do I want to take there or not? I don't really think so. I'll bring the other knight to f6 instead. And then maybe trade one pair of knights and then attack the bishop there. Okay, knight gets involved to e5 as well. So now this pawn is actually hanging. So let's watch out for that. But rook c8 should be fine. Just defends the pawn. Okay, there it is. And pawn to b5, I expect. But I will take, get that tempo, and then maybe f6 to hopefully chase the knight away. Bishop a6, is that possible? So now I need to play rook c7. And it starts to be a bit shaky around here with the rooks. Okay, f3 now. So my opponent gets it sooner than I do. So I'll take there and then probably drop this knight back again to get rid of this annoying piece. And b5 is almost unstoppable here. And yeah, white definitely got the edge here. That's why I usually like to play a position like that from the white. No, actually the black side, but it's like against the London system, so yeah, that's the way. And here I gotta take there. And then I cannot go to b7, so I'll stick just with c7. But the bishops are really annoying me here. And I'm not sure, but maybe that I'm even losing something here already. Because if bishops are so close to your rooks like this, it can be quite hard not to lose the exchange. So okay, this is the only move that doesn't lose the exchange immediately. But bishop g7. If rook b8, then this wins the exchange. So rook f8 would be the only option. And I really start to dislike the way this is going. So rook f8 is the only option here. Then bishop to c6. Rook b8. Yeah, I think we'll move somewhere at some point to bring the last piece into the game, but also just pawn to c6. That's good enough, I think. That doesn't seem too good. And to zigzag this bishop around somehow. I mean, c7 and c8 is just coming, and how am I stopping that? Other than, no, I'm not stopping it with bishop to c6. Like, what do I do here? It seems like I'll have to give up the exchange for the pawn. So let's at least try to get this bishop back to c4 and a6 in. That's gonna be a good setup, I think, after I win this pawn and this bishop for one of my rooks. But honestly, like c7, and then if I make some move and then bishop to c6, Bishop to c6 is really bad. a6, bishop to c6. I might be losing. No, I wanted to say that I might be losing the rook just for the bishop, not even winning this pawn. But no, right now I think that I should get that pawn at least with bishop to d6. Maybe you're wondering that I could go for bishop a6, but then there's this rook, and I don't really like the look of that. So I think I'll just give up one of my rooks for one of the bishops and this pawn. And still I feel like I would have some chances. I would have nice bishop pair. An extra pawn on the flank. And if, for example, it is a trade something like this, then like getting the pawn to a6, I can shuffle with bishop. Light squares would be only mine. So it would not be so easy to get through. That's why king c3, I think. And I'll just go for a6 now. So now this bishop is quite dominating there as well. Okay, bishop to b4. So if I trade, then there actually is no way to stop that pawn nicely. So I think that I'll have to take this pawn and give up the rook for the pawn and the dark squared bishop actually. Which, well, I wanted to get the light squared bishop instead. I think that would be better. But okay, it's not that bad, I think. Bishop to c6, okay, bishop. Bishop to b5, that's possible. I thought it was not for whatever reason. I saw the idea that there is like this rook behind the pawn. I just did not realize that it can be taken twice. In that case, in that case, it's complicating. I mean, I don't like the look of the endgame a bishop against the rook only. There's no good way to save this bishop. And if I don't go for it, I'll lose another pawn. Which would be bad, so I sort of have to go for it. Although now I don't have to take there and go into the rook trade. But then this pawn falls, or maybe can I play a5? I think I can. And that should be better to keep the rooks on the board. That should be better. Way to go. Okay, king to d6. That should make sense to bring the king as much into the center as I can. Okay, but as long as the bishop defends, then it's fine. Only thing is that if I could have the bishop here, it would be much better. Because like this, the bishop is defending passively. Okay, I'll just try to make some moves on the king side. And see what my opponent will do with the position. Okay, puts pressure there. Makes sense, but I don't have to do anything about it. I can just wait with rook b7, for example. And see what happens. Because if there is a way to break through, I think it's gotta have to be on the king side. Because I don't think there is a way to do much. I'll just wait and see. And maybe I can get a draw in this one. Unlike in the last one. Where I still cannot believe it that I lost in such a way. And yeah, pawn to e4, there it is. I said that if there is a breakthrough, it's gonna be on the king side. Am I gonna take? I think so. Even though again I don't want to, but this pawn structure is more solid. Then can I take that pawn? Maybe I can, but no, I'm just gonna wait instead. And see what happens. But with the waiting, I'm spending more time than my opponent as always. Okay, so there is actually a forced rook trade. Now. But it still would not have to be the end. Although this is bad. But maybe not as much as I thought. Rook a7 necessary now. Okay, oh, to b5. Probably fine as well. Let's give a check. Maybe try to attack the pawn. Yeah, rook blocks. Go after those pawns. Okay, that was expectable. Now I'll try to shuffle with the rook in between these squares for as long as I can. But now I might lose. If I don't trade. Okay, I did not want to trade. But if I lose this game, which honestly seems quite likely, I'm starting to think about playing also just casual without streaming and try to get some rating there. I'm starting to think about it because like it feels to be a bit apparent that on stream I simply cannot play as good. And as fast as well. Oh, no, I cannot play that. I thought for a millisecond. And now I think I'm dropping that bishop. Okay, so, okay, 3 losses. So that means out of last 10 games, I lost 9 and won only 1, which is a very bad score. So I'm really starting to think about playing off stream as well, where I'm pretty sure I could get back. Yeah, it is. It is. I'm gonna have to say. But maybe I have one thing in mind that I think after a month from now, I should go up with the rating. Because of one reason that I'll keep for later. But I think that after a month, I will go up. So, regardless what, basically. So that's one thing I might keep in mind. And so maybe I can try to push on for that month and see what happens, like, I don't know, till the end of March, to just try to play only on stream, at least on this account and like this. And if I'm still stuck down like this, then I will consider playing off stream as well. I think that's how I will do it. So yeah, so that's it for tomorrow. See you for today with